In the shadowed heart of London's Tower, two young princes vanished into eternal mystery. Edward V, rightful king at 12, and his brother Richard, 9, heirs to a fractured throne. Locked away in 1483 amid whispers of betrayal, their fate remains a grim enigma. Were they murdered by an ambitious uncle, or did they escape the blade? The stones hold secrets echoing through centuries of suspicion and sorrow. Welcome to Grimoryx, where shadows whisper forgotten truths. Tonight, we delve into the lost heirs of Edward V, the princes locked in the Tower, vanishing in 1483's intrigue. In the turbulent wake of the Wars of the Roses, England clung to fragile peace under Edward IV. A Yorkist king, he seized the throne in 1461, marrying Elizabeth Woodville in secret, a union that sowed seeds of discord among nobles. Their sons, Edward and Richard, born in 1470 and 1473, embodied hope for stability. Yet Edward IV's health faltered. On April 9, 1483, he died unexpectedly at Westminster, leaving a 12-year-old heir amid scheming factions. Whispers of ambition stirred in the shadows. News of the king's death reached Ludlow Castle, where young Edward V resided under the guardianship of his uncle, Anthony Woodville, Earl Rivers. Preparations for coronation began, set for May 4th, but Richard, Duke of Gloucester, Edward IV's brother, learned of the demise at Middleham. Pledging loyalty at York Minster on April 15th, he rode south. Ambition veiled as protection. He met the boys' entourage at Stony Stratford on April 29th, arresting Rivers and Richard Grey, sealing their doom at Pontefract. Edward V entered London on May 4th, greeted as king, but coronation postponed to June 22nd. Lodged in the Bishop's Palace, then moved to the Tower of London on May 19th, a royal residence, yet foreboding. Elizabeth Woodville, the Queen Dowager, fled to sanctuary at Westminster Abbey with her daughters and younger son Richard. Gloucester, now Lord Protector, consolidated power. On June 13th, he executed Lord Hastings without trial, accusing treason. The noose tightened around the Woodvilles' influence. Pressure mounted on Elizabeth to release young Richard from sanctuary. On June 16th, surrounded by guards, the boy joined his brother in the Tower, ostensibly for safety before coronation. But whispers grew. Dominic Mancini, an Italian visitor, noted the prince's confinement, Edward V fearing for his life under physician John Argentine's care. Gloucester postponed the coronation indefinitely. On June 22nd, a sermon at St. Paul's Cross proclaimed the boys illegitimate, citing Edward IV's pre-contract with Lady Eleanor Butler. Parliament assembled on June 25th, petitioning Gloucester to take the throne. The boys were declared bastards under Titulus Regius, invalidating their claim. Rivers and Grey were beheaded that day at Pontefract. On July 6th, Richard was crowned King Richard III at Westminster, amid pageantry masking treachery. The princes, now threats to his rule, were moved deeper into the Tower's inner apartments. Sightings dwindled. By late summer, they played no more in the gardens. Silence enveloped their fate. A failed rescue attempt in late July hinted at growing unease. Mancini, departing England, reported the princes' isolation, their servants dismissed. Rumours spread. By September, rebels under Buckingham, once Richard's ally, rose initially to restore Edward V. But the uprising shifted to Henry Tudor, suggesting the boys were believed dead. Richard crushed the rebellion, executing Buckingham in October. Contemporary chroniclers, like the Croyland Chronicle, noted the princes' vanishing, fueling suspicions. The Tower's walls, once protective, now entombed secrets. By January 1484, French Chancellor Guillaume de Rochefort spoke of the prince's murder, attributing it to Richard. Philippe de Comines echoed this in his memoirs. Richard never addressed the rumours publicly, nor displayed the boys to dispel doubts. His reign, marked by insecurity, saw no investigation. In 1485, at Bosworth Field, Henry Tudor defeated and killed Richard, becoming Henry VII. He repealed Titulus Regius, marrying Elizabeth of York, the prince's sister, to unite houses. Yet the heir's shadow lingered. Tudor historians shaped the narrative. Thomas More, in 1513, detailed a smothering murder orchestrated by Richard through James Tyrrell, princes suffocated by Miles Forrest and John Dighton. Polydore Virgil corroborated. Tyrrell, executed in 1502 for treason, allegedly confessed, though records vanish. Henry VII's attainder bill accused Richard of shedding infants' blood. Yet bias taints these accounts. More served Henry VIII, Virgil, the Tudors. The truth, obscured by propaganda, leaves room for doubt in the grim tale. Pretenders emerged, challenging Tudor rule. In 1487, Lambert Simnel was crowned Edward VI in Dublin, claiming to be Edward V or the Earl of Warwick. Defeated at Stokefield, he was pardoned as a pawn. Then Perkin Warbeck in 1491 professed to be Richard, Duke of York, supported by Margaret of Burgundy, the prince's aunt. He invaded England thrice, captured in 1497 and executed in 1499. These impostors, or hints of survival? The mystery deepened, fueling endless speculation. Centuries later, evidence surfaced. In 1674, workmen unearthed 2 children's skeletons under a tower staircase, buried in velvet rags, matching More's account of initial interment. Charles II ordered reburial in Westminster Abbey. Examined in 1933, the bones aligned with ages 12 and 9, but incomplete and contested. Gender undetermined, many parts missing. Critics note biased methods, assuming identity. No DNA testing yet, despite calls post-2012 Richard III discovery. The urn remains sealed, secrets intact. In 1789, coffins of 2 children were found in Windsor Castle's St George's Chapel, near Edward IV's vault, unidentified, unexamined. Later discoveries in 1810 identified other royal children, but these remain mysteries. Requests for exhumation denied. Queen Elizabeth II withheld permission. King Charles III may reconsider. These bones, if the princes, could rewrite history. Yet without testing, they whisper only possibilities. The Tower's grim legacy endures, a testament to power's dark appetite. The dominant theory pins murder on Richard III to eliminate rivals. Motive clear, his usurpation invited rebellion. Contemporaries like Mancini and Ruis accused him. He controlled the Tower, dismissed staff, no public denial. Historians Starkey and Hicks concur. Yet some defend, no direct proof, Tudor bias inflates villainy. A 1516 will mentions Edward VI's chain with Tyrrell's family, rediscovered in 2024, hinting complicity. The King's shadow looms largest in this web of intrigue. Alternative suspects include Henry Stafford, Duke of Buckingham. Comines and a 1483 Portuguese document blame him. As Richard's constable, he had access. Motive: descent from Edward III. Ambition: perhaps acting alone or for Richard. A College of Arms note states murder by the vice of the Duke, yet unlikely without royal sanction. Alison Weir supports this, but Pollard dismisses. Buckingham's rebellion suggests remorse or opportunism. The Duke's role, a fleeting ember in the fog of blame. Some theorise Henry VII, or his mother, Lady Margaret Beaufort, orchestrated the deed after Bosworth. Motive: remove Yorkist claimants. But timing falters. Rumours predated 1485. No contemporary accusations. Henry had no Tower access pre-victory. Clements Markham proposed 1486 murder, but disproven. Philippa Gregory fictionalises Beaufort's involvement, yet historians like Pollard reject. Henry's repeal of Titulus Regius and marriage to Elizabeth suggest he believed the prince is dead, or ensured it. A shadow theory, lacking firm ground. Survival theories persist. David Baldwin posits Edward died naturally. Richard escaped. Philippa Langley claims smuggling to Burgundy. A 1493 document describes Richard's flight. Warbeck, recognised by Margaret and Maximilian I by birthmarks. A 1487 Leal, receipt for weapons to a son of Edward IV, possibly Edward V. The Missing Princes project links Edward to John Evans in Devon, with Yorkist chapel symbols. Annette Carson supports escape. These glimmers challenge murder narrative, suggesting hidden lives beyond the tower. Shakespeare immortalised Richard as a hunchbacked villain in his play, drawing from Moore, smothering the boys for the crown. This dramatic portrayal cemented public perception, yet veers into fiction. Horace Walpole in the 18th century defended Richard, arguing Warbeck genuine. Modern Ricardians via the Richard III Society challenge Tudor propaganda. Documentaries and books, like Langley's 2023 work, present new evidence. The debate rages, each theory a candle flickering against the encompassing dark of history's voids. Contemporary accounts vary. Mancini's 1483 report, discovered 1934, describes fear and isolation. No murder claim. The Croyland Chronicle implies death post-rebellion. John Roos, shifting allegiance, called Richard murderer. George Seeley heard rumours in 1483. Impartial sources scarce, most post-Tudor. French reports from 1484 accuse Richard. No eyewitness testimony survives. The absence of proof tantalises. Did the princes perish in smothered silence or slip into obscurity? History's canvas, painted in shades of doubt, awaits further strokes. The Tower, symbol of royal power and prison, stands as mute witness. Its bloody history, executions, tortures, frames the prince's tale. White Tower staircase where bones lay, rebuilt post 1483, questioning Moore's details. Bodies reportedly moved, perhaps to Windsor. Modern forensic could resolve via mitochondrial DNA from relatives like Joy Ibsen. But royal consent eludes. The enigma persists, a grim reminder. In Thrones Game, innocence often pays the price, lost to ambition's unrelenting tide. Elizabeth Woodville's actions intrigue. Emerging from sanctuary in 1484, reconciling with Richard, did she believe her sons alive or coerced? Her later support for Tudor hints otherwise. The prince's sister, Elizabeth of York, married Henry without contesting brother's fate. Family silence speaks volumes, perhaps grief suppressed or knowledge buried. In this labyrinth of loyalties, personal motives entwine with political machinations, leaving the heir story a tapestry frayed by time's merciless hand. The Wars of the Roses legacy, a dynasty's end, Tudor's rise. The prince's disappearance marked Yorkist decline. Had they lived, England might differ. No Tudor golden age, perhaps continued strife. Their story inspires novels, films, from Gregory's White Queen to Shakespeare's tragedy. Cultural echo persists, a cautionary tale of innocence betrayed. In grim history, such voids invite imagination. Where facts falter, legends thrive. The Tower's princes, forever young, haunt the annals unspoken. Investigative pursuits continue. The 2023 Channel 4 documentary unveiled the Leela receipt and Devon links. Langley's team authenticates documents, proposing survival. Skeptics counter forgeries or misinterpretations. DNA remains key, comparing bones to Richard III's lineage. Public petitions urge exhumation. In this cold case, 5 centuries old, new tech meets ancient mystery. Will science illuminate the shadows, or does the past guard its secrets eternally? The quest endures, driven by unrelenting curiosity. Tyrrell's alleged confession via Moore details smothering, but sole source, potentially fabricated. His 1502 execution for unrelated treason, no trial record mentions princes. A chain linked to Edward V in Tyrrell family will adds intrigue, possibly trophy or heirloom. If authentic, implicates. Yet chain's provenance uncertain. In this puzzle, pieces scatter, each suspect a thread, pulling toward different truths. The lost heirs locked in time beckon us to unravel the enduring knot of 1483's darkness. Ultimately, the prince's fate eludes certainty. Murder likely, but by whose hand? Survival romantic, yet improbable. Bones await voice through science. In Grimoryx's lens, we peer into abyss, where power devours youth, leaving echoes. The tower stands, a monument to lost innocence. As candles dim, questions linger. Did they perish in silence or fade into forgotten lives? History's grim tapestry weaves on, threads of tragedy unbroken. As we close this chapter, reflect on the fragile line between heir and vanished. The princes of 1483 embody history's cruel whims, may their story urge us to seek truth amid shadows. Until bones speak or documents unveil, the mystery holds. In Grimoryx, we chase the echoes, unearthing the grim, the lost, the unspoken. The tower's silence, profound, invites endless wonder. What secrets lie buried in time's unyielding grasp? The candle flickers low on this tale of lost princes, their echoes fading into history's veil. In 1483's shadows, ambition claimed innocence, leaving a void unfilled. Whether murdered or spirited away, Edward V and Richard remain eternal enigmas. Grimoryx bids you ponder. In power's grasp, what price the throne? As light dims, the mystery endures. A sombre reminder of forgotten heirs. If this shadow stirred you, subscribe to Grimoryx for more dark histories unveiled. Like, comment your theory below. What became of the princes? Share the enigma. The next shadow awaits beyond the candle's smoke.